Good morning. And this morning we're heading for the hills on the hunt for happiness. When I started riding this morning, I was on a real grump. So I didn't actually record that introduction until I'd been riding for about 3 kilometres and I was already feeling much better. But why? Why do we feel better when we cycle? Well, for starters, and really the biggest one, when we exercise we are being deluged with chemicals from our own bodies. And some of these chemicals are feel-good chemicals, like dopamine, which is a naturally occurring opioid. And we've got endorphins, which get released into our system to help combat pain, but also give a feeling of euphoria. Then there's there's so many. Then there's the receptors in your brain which react when you take, or if you shouldn't do drugs. Kids, don't do drugs. But if you do take cannabinoids, there are receptors in your brain for those. We produce a drug when we exercise that attaches to the same receptors that cannabis does, producing the same effect as cannabis. And if that's not enough, as you do more and more cycling, more and more receptors are created in the brain to receive dopamine. You get higher and higher as you ride. And they all seem determined to make cycling a very happy experience for us. So I think we've dealt with all the uphill stuff. For downhills, if you go fast enough, there is of course adrenaline. Now of course adrenaline is released into our bodies in response to stress or risk. It makes our heart rate and blood pressure rise, and it opens up our airways, and it's all to allow more oxygen to our muscles so that we can either fight or run away. But not only do we get this boost of energy, but also adrenaline stimulates dopamine to be released, more dopamine. So we're basically drugged up to our eyeballs as we cycle. Well, that's dealt with a lot of the physiological reasons why cycling makes you happy. Then there's all the psychological ones too. Because you know cycling makes you happy, it represents a positive choice. You make that choice, you go for a ride, you feel better. So you made the right choice. Well done. You make the choice to ride again. You feel better again. You make the right choice again. Well done. If you'll forgive the pun, it's a perpetually positive cycle of reward. Next, cycling clears the mind. The basic mechanics of cycling, and I mean the road awareness, the gear changes, the checking corners, looking for traffic. Now you do all these things subconsciously, but in total it adds up to an awful lot that your mind has to deal with, leaving not really a lot of space to worry about the day-to-day troubles. And your mind can drift away in the repetitive motion of your legs and in your deep breathing. People talk about both blowing the cobwebs away and also zoning out. You can travel for miles without really having a thought. A great many cyclists like to set targets. And meeting your targets can be immensely satisfying. And there's so many targets to set yourself. You can go for a PB up a particular climb, or you can just decide that you're going to set a target of going out twice in a week. But achieving your cycling targets makes you happy. But of course there's so many more physical, practical things about cycling that can make you happy. You could be meeting up with some mates and going for a ride. You could be going to a favourite coffee shop. You could be going on an adventure and seeing new things. You can be giving yourself a treat after a hard day in the office. For many of us, it can simply be enough to be outside. So how does cycling make you feel? Well, feel good. I knew that I would. I feel nice, a bit like sugar and spice. So on that rather flat note, I'll leave you for this week. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. If you want to see where I rode making this video, I'll be posting a more normal ride video in a few days. And if you liked it, remember to subscribe and you'll get a notification when I release the next video.